Still have some chips. Gonna have to cash these out. No reason to take these with me on a vacation. Thank you. I am leaving town, going on a business trip. The next scene will be whatever casino I end up at, I guess. We are here in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Borgata Casino. Let's go play some poker. By the way, if you guys want to check out the vlog of me actually going to Atlantic City and what I did before starting my poker session, be sure to click the link to the video at the end of this one or check out the pinned comment below. Okay, so our first actual hand we get to play, we look down at 7-8 of diamonds on the cutoff. I limp in and we go 4 ways to the flop, which comes 7 ace 5 rainbow. Player in the small blind position makes it $11 to go. I have middle pair. I didn't drive almost 2 hours to Atlantic City to fold middle pair to an $11 bet, so I make the call. The turn comes a 10 of spades. The player once again bets $11, which looks kind of value-y, but it's so cheap that I feel like it's worth tossing in the chips. River comes the 9 of diamonds and he immediately bets 20. At this point, I don't think he has anything great. If he had a strong ace, I believe he would have raised pre-flop, and if he has a 5 or a 7 with a better kicker, I can represent a bigger hand here and get him to fold. So I go for the old min raise. He thinks about it for a little while and he folds. We take down a decent pot at the start of our session. In this hand, we're in the small blind, and we look down at 3-4 of clubs. The under the gun player makes it 8 to go, and he gets 3 callers. So when it's on me, I happily toss in the call. The big blind folds. We're going 5 ways to a flop of 10, ace, deuce, all clubs. We flop the flush. When it's on me, I decide to go for some value right away. Since we have so many people in the hand, I want to build a pot in case any scary cards pop up, like something that pairs the board or another club. I toss out $16 and the original raiser makes the call. The turn is not good for us. It's the 7 of clubs putting 4 to a flush out there. Anyone who has a club higher than a 4 is beating us right now. But they don't know that. And I feel like maybe I can represent a huge hand by betting here. So toss in $20 and the player makes the fold. We take down another small pot.
Needed the 5 of clubs.
I got regular buy. EW and Yoda.
Thursday for 2-5 on 54.
Right, 12.
In this hand, I look down at pocket 3s on the cutoff. I toss in $3 thinking the button would be raising here. He raised most hands pre on the button. But nope, we're going to a limp pot. The board comes 8-3-7 with 2 clubs. A player in mid position makes it 11 to go. In hindsight, it's probably a great idea to raise here since this board is so draw heavy. I could charge a lot for people to see the next card while we have the third nuts. But at the time, I only toss in the call, and so do several others. The turn comes the king of clubs, and the big blind player makes it 15 to go. I see no reason to do anything other than call at this point. We definitely do not have the third nuts anymore, and folding is out of the question. So we're off to the river. Please pair the board. Please pair the board. Please pair the board. Unfortunately, the river comes the jack of clubs. This is a horrible, horrible run out for us. Mid position player goes all in. There's no way we have the winning hand anymore, so we muck our hand.
I got two pair.
11.
JD for 120, DJJ 120.
In this hand, we look down at 5-7 of spades and limp in. The flop comes 5 deuce jack 2 clubs, and a player in mid position makes it 6 to go. I didn't drive all the way to Atlantic City to fold middle pair for a $6 bet, so I toss in the call, and another player joins as well. Turn comes the queen of diamonds, and it gets checked around to me. I see no reason to do anything other than check here. Other player checks as well, so now we see the river, which is another 5. This is the best possible run out for us. No flush or straight possibilities on the board. And the way the hand played out, I don't think anyone has a full house here. A mid-position player makes it 10 to go. I think we'll do a little better than that. I toss in a raise to 55, and he mucks. Take down another small pot.
A few more people, I would have been in it.
Rod for a 246.
It's been a while since we won a hand, so when I look down at 6-9 off on the button, I think it's time to switch things up a little and raise. I make it 9 to go. We go a few ways to the flop, which comes 7 ace 6 2 clubs. A mid-position player makes it 6 to go. When it's on me, I toss in the call. Turn is the 4 of hearts. Everyone checks, so we're going to the river, which is the 9 of spades. An absolutely great card for us. Yes, there's 2 straight draws that came out, but I doubt anyone has 5-8 or 8-10 here. Player bets 20. I decide I want a little more and raise it to 45. He thinks about it for a little while and makes the call. We show our hand, and it's good. I know it might look like smooth sailing since this vlog started, but there's a lot of hands like this that I'm not showing you guys where we're on the button with a suited ace and we call a bet pre-flop, we completely miss the flop, we face a huge bet, and we fold. Several hands like this takes a pretty decent chunk out of your stack. In this hand, I look down at ace-3 off on the button and limp in for $3. We get a few people in and we go to a flop of 6-9 jack 2 diamonds. Everyone checks. Really don't see a point of betting here. We go to the turn, which is an ace of clubs. When it's on me, I bet $11 and get 3 callers. River is the 3 of spades, which gives us a very disguised 2 pair. When it's on me, I rip in 35 bucks, hoping to get a caller or even a raise, but everyone folds.
Yeah, brand new 5.5 kilo VD.
Right, 12.
I have a seat.
12. Hand up. Wait, up. I got 4 players. Okay.
In this hand, we look down at 10 jack off on the button. I make it 9 to go, and we get a few callers. The board comes 9-8-3 rainbow. First player to act makes it $20 to go. I flopped an open ender, so any queen or 7 gives me the nuts. I toss in the call. The turn comes another 3. Player bets 25. Yeah, the board isn't the greatest anymore, but I'm not going anywhere. I toss in the call. River comes a jack. He checks, and I feel like if I bet, I'm only getting a call or raise from hands that beat me, so I check back and flip over my cards, and we're good. We take down another small pot.
Raise.
In the small blind, we once again look down at 6-9 off. A player min raised to $6. I toss in the call and check dark. The flop comes 7-8 king with 2 hearts. Player makes it $6 again. We flopped another open ender here. Any non-heart 5 or 10 gives us the virtual nuts. So I make the call. The turn comes the 2 of spades. And it's the same situation. He makes it $6 again. See no reason to do anything other than call here. River is a pretty interesting one. It's the 5 of hearts, giving us the nut straight but completes the front door flush. Could it be that he was betting $6 on the flop and turn in case the flush comes in? Seems very possible, especially when he bets $25. A player to his left thinks about it for a while and also makes the call. With 2 players in, it's very possible that we are beat here. After thinking for a second, I decide that it's not too bad of a price to see if we hold up.
I hit my card, but it might not be good enough. I got a straight.
Here, full pot. 7 high straight.
Extra heart scared because he kept betting 6. I thought maybe he was chasing for that flush or something. Once the flush came, he bet big. So
In this hand, we're on the button, and I limp in with king deuce off. I try to play all my buttons, especially if it's only one big blind, so we go to a flop which comes king, queen, 3 with 2 spades. Player makes it $11. With top pair, I'm not really going anywhere. You can probably raise here to see where you're at, but I decide to make the call, play it safe. The turn comes a 6 of hearts. The player makes another small bet, this time to $12. I think it's time we start putting some more money into this hand. If he had a strong hand, I feel like he might have bet a bit more, so I raise to 36, and after a little while, he tosses in the call. The river is the king of diamonds, an absolutely insane run out. I'm hoping he has like a queen X type hand, that way he'll pretty much call any bet I throw out, not believing I have the king since there's 2 of them out there now. He checks, and I toss out a bet of 45, and he folds, so we take down another decent pot.
Please shuffle up the deal. Players, we will be 5:35. You guys once again 5:35 dinner break.
County Papa, CB.
12.
In this hand, we look down at queen 10 off in the cutoff. I make it $8 to go, and we get a few callers. We go to a board of jack, king 4, 2 diamonds. It gets checked to me, and I feel like a c-bet can take this down being the pre-flop aggressor, so I toss in a bet of $15. That does not work, and we get quite a few callers. We go to the turn, which is a 6 of spades. It gets checked to me. I decide to check back. In hindsight, though, I really should have placed a bet here. The river is a blank, it's a 2 of diamonds. When it's on me, I decide to bluff at it being the pre-flop aggressor and flop better. I put out a bet of $25 to try to make it look like I'm getting value with a flush or something, but we get a call. Whoops. We're not winning this one with queen high.
you got it. Queen high.
Bad beat jackpot bonus. We're going to lower our bad beat jackpot qualifier to
I got 2 pair.
odd deuces are better. We're going to end with both jackpots, totaling 100,000.
In this hand, I look down at ace 10 of clubs on the big blind. Player makes it $10, and nothing really seems to be going my way since that queen 10 hand, so I take the passive route and decide to just call instead of raising my suited ace here. We get a few players to the flop, which comes 9, 10, 10 with 2 spades. I check, and a player bets 15. A short stack shoves all in. When it's on me, I have a few decisions here. I can jam all in to isolate the all-in player if I feel the original better is on like a draw. I could toss in the call since this board is so wet, somebody could easily have flopped 10s full of 9s or 9s full of 10s, be on a straight draw, flush draw, even a straight flush draw. Third option is to fold. I decide that since things haven't worked out for me in the few recent hands, and I still have nightmares about that 10-10 deuce flop from the Hard Rock $1 Million Guarantee vlog. The flop comes 10-10 deuce with 2 hearts. I toss in the call, and the original better calls as well. The turn is the queen of spades, which is a horrible card. So many things are beating us on top of what was already beating us on the flop. I check, and the player bets 75. This is a super gross spot because if we don't improve on the river, it's not going to be a fun time if he bets huge and we're left with trip 10s. At the same time, we can definitely still be good here against hands like Jack 10, King 10, Pocket 8s, etc. So I toss in the call, and we go to the 5 of diamonds on the river. I check, and the player goes into the tank for a while. I guess he's thinking I have something that will snap call an all-in from him, or snap shove any bet that he makes. Eventually, he checks back and flips over King Jack for straight on the turn. Ugh. This was played so bad on my part. I could have easily jammed on the flop over the all-in player, and that more than likely would have gotten him to fold. We lose a decent amount of money in this hand.
Ray 11. Okay, okay. Back 20. Check, check. Back 10.
After limping in with 10 tree of diamonds, we face sort of a min raise, and without too much hesitation, I toss in the call. We go to a flop of 10, queen, 3, 2 hearts. We not only smash this board, but we get bet into. Player makes it 16 to go, and I happily make the call. We go to a turn which is the 9 of spades. Player bets $20, and now our 2 paired don't really look that nice anymore. We have 2 possible flush draws on board, and now King Jack and Jack 9 make a straight. I think it's too tight to fold our hand. Definitely not loving the situation, but for only $20, I toss in the call. A Jack of spades falls on the river, and that's not helping us whatsoever. It goes check check, and we see that we're up against pocket queens. Yeah, was not expecting that to be the hand shown to us. We unfortunately run into a monster here. But I feel like we could have lost a lot more, so that's that, I guess. After taking a few blows to our stack, we kind of dwindled into low stack territory. But that's about to change when we're on the small blind and we look down at pocket aces. Player in mid position makes it 11 to go. We're going to need to bump that up. I make it 32 to go, and we go to a low flop. I shove all in for the rest. We get called, the board runs out clean, and we get a nice double up.
Thank you.
After the pocket aces hand, we kind of played hands here and there, nothing too major, nothing too great. My phone went down to 3%, and that's what I would consider like emergency mode. Unfortunately, I couldn't record any more hands, and my phone died out shortly after. I didn't get to record the rest of the stuff. I had to use a charger just to charge my phone to film me leaving the casino. We did win a few hands. The most noteworthy hand that I didn't get to film was we look down at pocket jacks. A player makes it 15 to go. I raise to 45. The original raiser makes the call. We go to a board of queen, 10, queen. I obviously don't think he has a queen at this point. So when he checks it to me, I decide to go for a bet. I make it 50. He tosses in the call. The turn is an 8. He checks it over to me again. I once again bet 50. He tosses in the call. The river comes a jack, so he checks it to me for a third time, and I slide out a bet of 75. He goes into the tank. There's 4 to a straight on board. There's also the 2 queens. Eventually, he tosses in the call with pocket 9s. He rivered the straight when we rivered the full house. After that hand, things didn't really want to go our way anymore. We lost a pretty decent sized hand, and it was getting late. Had a 2-hour drive home, so we packed up whatever we had and got out of there.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Had a long night, excuse the way I look. Left the casino, we bought in for 200, we're out for 320. Not a bad turnout by any means, but when you count all of the things, all of our expenses of getting to Atlantic City, so gas, tolls, getting a bite to eat, and then of course gas and tolls on the way home. I think we profited maybe $18.42. When you live close to the casino, all that stuff doesn't really come into account. But when you gotta drive 2 hours away basically to get to the casino and then 2 hours back home, yeah, not the easiest thing in the world. Apologize for not having that many poker videos up. I went to New Jersey on a business trip and I'm finally back in Florida. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get back to the regular scheduled programming because of the holidays and everything, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to play poker regularly pretty soon. Have a vlog up at least once a week. Thank you guys for being loyal subscribers. Thank you guys for watching my video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.